It's time to get your checking account to zero with free checking from PenFed. That's zero ATM fees, zero balance requirements, and zero time spent waiting for your paycheck to direct deposit because you can receive it up to 2 days early. Open your account with just $25 and see how big zero can be. Apply online today at penfed.org/free checking. Early direct deposit eligibility may vary between pay periods and timing of payers' funding. To receive any advertised product, you must become a member of PenFed, insured by NCUA.
PenFed's got great rates for everyone.
What is up, everyone? I'm Jeff Lund, and this is the Mediocre Alaskan Podcast, where we are intolerant of weak-minded attitudes that keep people from pursuing new and exciting things in the areas of fitness, outdoors, and general lifestyle. Today's episode is brought to you by LMT Lifestyle. LMTlifestyle.com was about making the most of the opportunities that you're given each day to live the life that you want to live. Sometimes life requires you to live mentally tough. That is the rallying cry and what the acronym LMT means. On today's show, got Brennan Koeller, national champion weightlifter in the university realm. Great guy, finishing up college, wants to become a teacher, and is a coach at Resident CrossFit in Modesto, California. That's coming up next. All right, here with Brennan Koeller, former student of mine who is now a national champion. At the time when he was sitting in the back of my English class, I wasn't exactly sure that national champion material was there, but that's kind of the beauty of seeing how people end up taking control of their lives and dominating. So, Brennan, let me talk to you first about in high school you were a football player, and that was kind of your identity. Once you left high school, how did you adjust to kind of creating something new? Some people feel a real void. You know, I used to be a football player, now I'm not, and who am I? So how was that transition for you?
Oh, man. It was tough at first because, you know, my entire life had been freaking baseball and then football, going straight into it. And, I had a basketball stint here and there, but like it was sports year round. And if you would have asked me like freshman year, what am I doing after high school? I would have been staying playing college football. But the reality set in later on that this isn't what I'm going to be doing. And then like senior year, DJ and one of my friends, he like started getting into CrossFit, and that kind of like sparked my interest a little bit. And then after, I think it was honestly maybe the day or two after graduation, I just literally just started doing CrossFit and kind of like fell in love with that, and that kind of like filled the void immediately. So I never really had like this like down time where I was like, oh my God, like what am I going to do with my life? I was like immediately I had something that like filled my competitive void.
Yeah. I've been listening to some stuff and reading some books about, this idea of tribe is kind of like a new, the hip new word about your community, the type of people that you spend time with. You're not all the same, of course, but what's kind of the common thread in your current sort of tribe? You said that was a DJ that got you involved in CrossFit. Who was that?
Yeah, so early on, DJ he got into it, and that's what sparked my interest, but it was all thanks to Cody Lee for opening up the gym after school and like over the summer, and that's where it gave me the opportunity to kind of just do CrossFit. And it was like a super ghetto way of doing CrossFit. We would come in there for 3 hours and just horse around for a while trying to learn like muscle ups and snatching, like with no cues, like, oh yeah, man, that looks better, like do that again. There's no like actual cues behind it. And it was like, I really liked the group we had there too. It was just like, that's where I met Nick, and me and Nick, like we knew each other in high school, but after high school now we're like best friends and we're always hanging out. And it was because of that opportunity to work out after school is how I met Nick, and just I made a lot of good friendships out of that whole thing, and I give that all to Cody. He's the reason that all started.
Right. Where are you today without those influences, without those people who got you into that, and now you're working out all the time, you're coaching there. Where are you without those influences or those interactions?
I mean, I still interact with Cody. I talk to him, not as much as I used to, obviously, because we're so like far away. You know, he's always at home. He's got his family, and you know, I'm doing my weightlifting thing and going to school. But I mean, we still talk and we still work out. And Nick's like my best friend and my number one training partner. So I still have that part of the old days with me to go through it. But I found like a new group, right? And it's not like so much as replacing it. It's just because it's where I'm at, and like Resident CrossFit where I work we have a really good community there. Like you said, tribe, right?
Yeah.
The community there is great. I feel at home. It's just like I've never had to like go out and feel like I was kind of like on my own, doing my own. I've always felt like I've had a great support system around me.
I'm assuming that to some degree, like being a guy who likes to go fish a lot, you know, your fishing buddy is someone who's going to say, dude, you got to switch up, man. Like you're not using the right fly, you know, stop being stubborn and do this. I got to imagine that a workout partner has some of those same sort of, I'm going to tell you like it is when need be. So how important is it to have a training partner who's going to get the best out of you rather than just tell you what you want to hear?
Oh my God. It is crucial. For the longest time, I had just the absolute worst snatch ever. Like I had like this super narrow grip. I hit early off my thighs. I didn't finish my pull ever, but I was just so content with it. And it's just like Nick every day, and like Chewy too. But I didn't see Chewy as much at this point. Like Chewy was like somebody I'd see maybe like once a month, and I was with Nick every day. And every day he's like, dude, change it up. Like, it's not like, yeah, you think you're good with it now, just imagine what you would be with like the actual right form. And, you know, after a while, just like getting irritated, like, shut up, Nick. I finally like caved in, and, you know, I took like an initial like 2 or 3 steps back, but after that, it just opened up just like gigantic leaps forward. Like I can't even like tell you how huge like the progress I made was because of it. And like I give that to like Nick and the people around me, just like constantly like, dude, you need to change this up.
Yeah. That's not an easy thing to do, because, you know, if something seems to be working, you know, pretty well, you know, to change that and to risk, you know, kind of falling apart, like you said, step back a little bit to do to end up later getting better. How difficult was that? Like, how was the temptation to go back to the way it was because it was working fine-ish? Like, how did you battle through that to look at the long term of this refined skill?
It was really tough, man. Like I had changed. It was weird. One morning I was actually working out by myself. I think it was like 6 a.m. and I had like told myself the previous night that I was like, all right, I'm just gonna do it. And I went in and I was having the worst day of snatching. I couldn't hit any of the numbers that I routinely hit, and I was getting frustrated and just like, here it comes. I just had to live mentally tough at that point, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Brand.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's really what it was. It's just like, calm down. Everything's going to be okay. Like, they told you you're going to take a few steps back, but just trust the people around you. Like, and then I started thinking, like, what would Chewy and what would Nick and everyone telling me, what would they benefit from me taking a step back? And like, they wouldn't benefit anything from me like negatively affecting like my lifts.
Yeah.
And so just after a while, like, started routinely hitting the numbers again, felt good, and then after a while it was just like boom, PR, and it just kept going, and I was just like, thank God I listened to him.
At what point did you start thinking, hey, I want to do this at the kind of national level? I want to do competitions. And then when you got to the point where, hey, dude, I could be competing for a national championship, how did that all fall into play?
Well, So when I first started, right, when I first started exercising in general, like after high school, I was a chubby kid. Like, I wouldn't say like I was a fat kid. I was definitely chubby though. And so my one goal was I wanted a six pack, and that was it. So I was running, I was doing like 3 Metcons, and I wasn't doing any strength because I was just like, I don't need strength. I'm trying to get a six pack. And so that was my mindset for the longest time. And so me not doing any strength movements made me really weak, obviously, because I'm losing weight and I'm not doing anything to like make myself stronger. So for the longest time, I'm just over here like doing like body weight movements and stuff. And like I was convinced that I was like, I just want to do cool things on the ring. Like I like almost had like this like gymnast, or like I want to be like a gymnast at one point. And I vividly remember telling Chewy that I don't care how strong I am, I just want to do cool things on the ring because I'll never be that strong. And that is like one of the biggest things when I tell people about how far like I've come because of Chewy. Like I told, like that was the kid I was, and then now I'm here.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Do you think that you're like you have a special level of motivation, or do you think that you're just kind of the standard type guy, and that going from where you were to where you are is, everybody is capable of it? Where do you think that stands?
I honestly like. I think it's something that everyone can do, but it's tough. I mean, I think what separates me from the other people, like, I should take that back. I don't think everyone can do it because, like, it is a bit of a grind. There's times where I'm like, man, I really don't want to, like, work out right now, but I just feel like I want it more than most people. Like, there's times where I had to leave Modesto and fly out to Georgia, and I was leaving Modesto at like 5 a.m. and I stayed the night at the gym, and I woke up at 3 a.m. and I was snatching and back squatting and doing all my accessory work just because I was like, I don't want to miss this day of working out. And I just feel like a lot of people would just be like, whatever, what's one day to miss? And like, I've been in at the gym at like 11 p.m., right, working out till midnight, and it's just like, and I have people on the outside telling me like, oh, like, you won't be able to make it work once you start, like, I want to be a teacher, so like, once you start becoming a teacher, like, you're not going to be able to do it. And the difference between me and them is like, I want it, and I'll do what I have to make it happen. So that's just what I feel like separates me from others, is just like, I want it more than most.
So where did you learn that? I mean, I'm sure some of it has got to feel innate, and I think a lot of people would argue that some people are kind of born a little bit more motivated than others. But as far as like mentoring, like where did you get this idea that, hey, if you want it, you're going to get it, and you got to sacrifice it? Who are some of the influences when it came to making that happen?
I mean, I think it's solely from my parents, just because they didn't have all that much growing up. They had rough childhoods, and like they wanted to have a good family. Like they wanted to raise me the way I should, and they just like they went after it. Like they get after. That's where I learned all my motivation from, is from my parents, just like going after. Like my mom like commutes to work for like 2 hours, and I like me myself, I hate traffic. Like she does that Bay Area traffic every day. She like, I think it's like 7 a.m. She's like in that traffic, and then like 4 o'clock, and then it's like, I think those are like the peak hours of traffic, and she's doing that because she wants what's best for this family, and she's trying to like support us and provide for us. So she's like, that's like where I get it from. And my dad's doing all these things, like he's working, he's in a band, he's coaching, and he's just motivated to do all these things. And so I feel like myself, like I see it from them, and so it's just been so easy. Like I don't understand how like people can't like be motivated to do certain things. So it's just, I think it's solely my parents.
Mm-hmm. when you finally got to the national championships and you won a national championship, how did that feel? Like, were you, all the work's been worth it and kind of relaxed, or did you kind of get that taste of winning and now, hey, you want more? How did that go down?
Yeah, it's man, that was a whole whirlwind of emotions. Like when I first did my first meet, I knew I could be pretty or my first national meet, I knew I could be pretty competitive. It was at this point, the under 25 national champion wasn't a thing. So my first one was university nationals, and I was like, yeah, I could be pretty competitive, but like if I get like top 3, awesome. But like I wasn't really anticipating it. And then I think I got 5th place. Yeah, I got 5th place, and I was like, wow, like 5th place, that's pretty good. Like I was pretty happy about it. I was like, I'm just gonna keep doing my thing, see where it takes me. And then I went to the American Open, like I think a couple months later, and I at this one I thought I wasn't gonna be as competitive, so I kind of just went out there and I was like, yeah, let's just go make some lifts, have some fun. Made some lifts, had some fun, and then when I went to the next university nationals, I was starting to think I was starting to get stronger. I was starting to look at other people's numbers like, hey, I can really do this. And this one was in the 2016 under 25 and university nationals, and that one was like really what set the fire inside of me. Like I had multiple opportunities to take gold in the snatch and gold overall, and I missed it. And so it just made me so mad. Like I got one medal because I got a bronze in the snatch. I'd taken 4th overall or something like that, and that's what lit the fire within me. And I was just I remember texting Chewy a couple of days later, once we came back from Louisiana, hey, I'm going to get after it. I was like, I'm not going to be outworked. I was I basically told him, hey, you down for this ride? I'm going to work my ass off. I want you there with me.
After years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless providers, if we've learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So when I first heard that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless starting at just $15 a month, I thought, what's the catch? But after talking to them and using their service, it all made sense. There isn't one. Mint Mobile's secret sauce is that they're the first company to sell wireless service online only. They cut out the cost of retail stores and pass those sweet savings directly to you. For anyone who hates their phone bill, Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. I was hesitant about having to get a new phone and a new phone number, but with Mint, you can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone and your same phone number along with all of your existing contacts. Mint Mobile gives you the best rate whether you're buying for one or for a family, and at Mint, families start at 2 lines. All plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Switch to Mint Mobile and get premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and to get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/waypoint. That is mintmobile.com/waypoint. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/waypoint.
And I worked my ass off, and then I got to 2017 national championship, or not national, under 25 and university. And I had been cutting for a while, and it was a tough cut, and I was on track for my weight, and I was I've never felt so strong in my life. And so I was ready, I was focused, and she gave me this motivational speech. It wasn't a super long speech, but he just pulled me aside before I took my opening snatch and was he's you worked too damn hard to get here. You're strong. You're ready. Go out there and show everyone what you've been doing. And so after I found out that I won, it was it wasn't a sense of relief. It wasn't me focusing in and trying to get after it. It was kind of just I felt I just wanted to jump around like a little kid, super happy. I was just super ecstatic. I'm like, oh my God, I just won. Like, it was crazy. And like I was getting a bunch of people, like my mom was texting me, my dad was texting me, and like my best friend Jordan was, and his whole baseball team were watching it on a bus ride to one of their games, and they were like, dude, that was freaking awesome. So it was just like, I was just like overwhelmed with so many emotions that I was just like so happy. I was like, oh my God. But then like once it set in, like I got all my medals, and like I was like walking back, I was like, this is awesome. Like I want to do this. And now it's like I still try and keep training fun, but it's like, it's serious. Like I need to like be serious about this because I can do something with it. So it was just like that whole thing was just so like overwhelming with the emotions.
Mm-hmm. So you're good at weightlifting, you're strong, but you suck at fly fishing and things like that.
Oh my God.
Tell me about, because I think it's kind of the same principle. The type of person who's going to, start off figuring out some of these Olympic lifts by themselves in a gym is the same type of person who would, I'm going to figure out fly fishing. I'm going to figure out king salmon fishing or whatnot. So tell me how it felt to be when you came up to Alaska to do the lifting clinic at Ketchikan CrossFit. Tell me how it felt to be really bad at something and fighting through it and being successful and still having fun, not getting so discouraged that you wanted to quit. You want to do something else. Talk about that.
It was different, man. I'll tell you, like, I don't like to do a lot of things that I'm not good at. And like, I'm at the point now where like, I feel like I really don't have to do the things I'm not good at. A stupid example is like, I was talking to Nick, like, I was like, I'm not good at that video game. I'm not going to play it. Like, that's just how it is. But I mean, when I went up to Alaska, like, I am so just like, I wasn't like this most outdoorsy person. Like, I barely hiked. I barely camped. I had never been fishing before, but like, I was like super bought into just like, I'm gonna have this experience. Like, I'm gonna like, whatever it is, like Lund wants to do, like we're gonna freaking do it. Like I'm ready. I thought at one point like we were just gonna be hunting and fishing and living in like the forest the entire time. Like that was my intentions are. Like, if I have to eat fish, I thought we were gonna have to kill what we ate. That was basically my mindset going into it. But it was different, like not being good at something, but it was just like it was so like being in Alaska, because I had never really traveled for like my entire life. So like going to Alaska, I got like the little kid excitement, right? That I was talking about it, like the national championships. I get like a little kid all the time when I get excited. So I was like, oh my God, I'm in Alaska. This is great. This is awesome. Oh, all this stuff. And so like just being in Alaska made it like enjoyable, like not catching fish and like being super bad at fly fishing, which I think I wasn't that bad at. I mean, it took me a little bit to like actually hook the fish, but
it's kind of tough when you see hundreds and hundreds of fish in there, and you expect to catch one. Like, how is not one of these going for it? So when it takes longer than about 5 minutes, yeah, it can be a little bit. Hey, come on, you're supposed to bite this thing. I can see you right down there in the water.
Yeah.
What about the king salmon out in the ocean? Talk to me about what was going through your mind when you caught that 30-pound king that broke the rod, but we still got.
That is maybe like top 5 like greatest moments of my life. But like I didn't like it had happened like that was like probably like what 2 hours into the like fishing trip for that day, and that was like our first day. So that was literally like one of the very first times I had ever fished. So I had no clue. I had no clue what to like think. Did I catch one before that?
There'd been some. We caught a couple cohos, and it was fairly early on. I think it was maybe a little bit earlier than 2 hours.
Yeah. So, I mean, I had no clue like what had happened. I just thought like, oh, maybe it's a little stronger of a fish, and then like my rod starts bending, and like even if it was like a light fish and the rod bent, I was like, oh my God, it's gonna break. And so like every time like I saw the rod bend, I was like, the rod's gonna break. It's gonna break. Yeah. And then this time it broke, and I was like, oh shit, one's gonna kill me. Like I just broke his rod, and I was like super like, oh god, and then like you started getting amped up, like, and I was like,
yeah,
oh, we got something going.
There's something
right
going
here.
on
and
here,
like,
yeah.
So you start doing your thing, helping me because I'm just like this little scrub over here fishing, and like once we brought that salmon on board, the king salmon on board, like I was the little kid excitement came out. I was like, oh my god! And then the infamous quote, I live for this shit.
Yeah.
I've been fishing all of like an hour and a half, but I claim that I live for it now. So
That's right.
It was great, and it's something that I will remember forever.
Well, it was funny because we'd caught, I think, you and Chewy had both caught a salmon, like a coho piece, I think. And so when this fish it took off, and I thought, oh, what's going on here? And I checked your drag. Your drag was pretty tight, and I thought, man, this is kind of real. This is going on. And then when it got close to the boat, and then it dove underneath the boat, so it totally wasn't your fault. You're in a 16-foot skiff, and the king is right next to the boat, and it dives underneath, goes to the other side, and then the rod just snapped twice and ended up getting on board. But yeah, man, that thing was pretty sweet. That was a lot of fun for me, for sure, and I'm glad we ended up getting that in.
I feel like it almost spoiled me because like I caught a coho before that, right? And it was pretty quick that I caught that, and then I caught that king salmon, and I thought I was the man, right? I still think I am the man. I call myself the King Slayer.
King Slayer. It's like it's your own hashtag.
The rod was broken, and Chew's catching all these fish. I'm kind of getting jealous, but like, since that was my first experience, I thought that's how fishing was all the time. So I found out really quickly the next days after that it's not going to be like that every time. So I felt like that whole king salmon experience kind of like spoiled it at first. But I mean, I still love being out on the boat, like fishing, and it's something that I want to do more. I don't have the time really, like as far as my priorities go. Like I love fishing, but am I going to go out and go fishing instead of like going to like work out? Probably not.
Yeah. Well, that's the hard thing too, is, living in Alaska really fits my lifestyle because everything is so close. The boat launch is 8-second drive away from where I live, and it's just so accessible. Down there, it's a definite chore, and that's one of the things that was difficult about living down there is just the chore of getting out and doing stuff. But the thing is that, and that's the next thing I was going to go into real quick before we close up, is just finding some sort of routine that you can get fulfillment from. So you might live in an urban sort of area, but you still have to find something that's going to make you got to find people. There's a lot of people who are depressed or lonely, even though they live next to hundreds of thousands of people. So kind of in closing, like how important is it, or how much would you encourage people to find something to grab onto and find a community of people, either at the gym, doing yoga or something? How important is that to really feeling like you have a good grip on a good life?
I mean, I feel like pretty obvious is super important, right? Like you want to like find fulfillment in life, right? Like what is life if you're not if you don't have fulfillment? And really it can be anything, right? Like I found weightlifting, and now it's like brought me into like I've met so many people. I have so many like friends at the gym that like we hang out with every day, and I just feel like so content all the time at the gym just because of like the atmosphere that's there. And it's just like I don't even know, like I've always had some sort of fulfillment, like before weightlifting or CrossFit, it was football or it was baseball. So like I don't know really like what it'd be like without like having that. So I feel like it's super important for like mental health. Like I've been like super into like looking into like improving mental health, like even meditation. Like I've started meditating like 2 or 3 times a day, and like I'm pushing that onto people now. Like, you need to meditate. Like it's awesome. Yeah. But I really feel like you need to go and find out what works for you. And like I said, it can be anything. It doesn't have to be fitness related. It could just be like having, I don't know, like a poker night with somebody. Like that could be like, it could help you mentally, right? Like I feel like I get so much like a mental uplift when I like go hang out with my friends and we just like screw around, like talking or play video games. I feel like that can give you fulfillment too. Like it doesn't have to be fitness related. It's just whatever makes you happy. You just go do that.
Right. When's the next meet? What are you training for right now?
Yeah, right now I'm getting ready for the American Open. It's going to be here in, I think, like 3 or 4 weeks. It's December 8th, and I'm feeling really good, man. I'm 2 weeks into my cut. Body weight's right around where it should be, and like strength right now is like I've never felt so like good.
Nice.
I've been lifting good consecutively every single day, so I'm super excited. I'm not going to put a lot of pressure on myself for the American Open. I just I want to go out and make my lift and have some fun. It's going to be in Anaheim, so my mom and dad may be able to make the trip down. I mean, if they can't, obviously I understand. Jordan's parents, my best friend's parents live down in Irvine, so it's like a 30-minute drive. They're going to be down there, and I haven't seen them in like almost a year. So I'm just gonna enjoy the meet rather than like go in like I need to medal or I need to hit this number or hit this number. Just go in and just have some fun. Really enjoy myself down there.
Nice. Well, good luck, man, and great talking with you. Thanks for taking the time after the workout and the long days of being a student and a coach and a lifter. But so take care, bud, and we'll talk to you later, man.
All right, thanks, Lund. It was had a blast.
Yeah, take care, man. That will do it for episode 11 of the Mediocre Alaskan podcast. Make sure you go to themediocrealaskan.com for content, for columns, for the archive of this podcast. Also check out lmtlifestyle.com for gear that is comfortable while you are crushing all aspects of your life. And if you're in the Modesto or the Manteca area, check out Resident CrossFit. Great people there, great community of lifters and healthy livers. We will see you next time.